Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, and we are on a tour of the Royal Court of Scotland. Fair play to them. They've managed to get the Stone of Scone back somehow. I think they seized it from the Countess of Fife. Not too sure how they managed that. And you might be looking around the court and thinking, the king isn't there. The king is there. The king is in the court. He's hiding. He's hiding under the Stone of Scone. Let's click on his steward. And let's take a look at the King of Scotland. There he is. So his father drank himself to death just a few months ago. About a year ago. Scotland has been causing us a lot of problems. The High King pretty much committed to the idea that he would fight his last war to solidify the borders of Kirkin, basically to take the Scottish capital, so that he would be able to pass on a legitimate claim to his son Patrick. And in that last war, which we expected to go fairly easily enough, our grandson, Patrick's son Patrick, was killed. Surely we can't have that as our last great military achievement. The death of our grandson. The High King has remained relatively peaceful for the last couple of years. I think it was 1197 when we had that war. The death of the King of Scotland, of course, opens up opportunities to go to war again. If we focus on the king himself, we can declare war for a single claim to a single county. What we will instead focus on is we will buy some claims. We could request a claim from the Pope. Oh, no, we can't, because we already have a king title. Let's buy the claim. Oh, can't do that either. So what we're going to do, who knows if we will have the time. We are going to focus our ire, our anger on Ranald, former King of Scotland, the man who killed our grandson. We could request a claim from the Pope. I think it's unlikely. Even if we get opinion up to 100%, I think it's unlikely. So what we are going to do is we are going to use 500 piety to buy an unpressed claim to the Duchy of Strathclyde, and of course that's the duchy surrounding Carrick, so that will solidify our holdings in that area. Before we go waging wars or anything like that, I've been talking about the difficulty that we've had forming alliances for our grandson Crusader and our grandson Patrick before him. Future King of Ireland, if he survives. Bless him, he's not the worst. He's no Patrick, but he's not the worst. Interestingly enough, while we're here very quickly, here is Mweriduk, and here is his son, Coning. So he has a 1-year-old son and successor, who will now rule, possibly at some point in time in the future, as King of Wales. So we won't see this branch of the Dál Fiatach coming to power in Wales. But like I said, we've been having trouble finding alliances for Crusader, and we're still having trouble finding alliances for Crusader. However, here is somebody in and around the same age group. Claim to Denmark, that's not much good to us. A claim to the Isles. Oh. That's very useful to us. It is the 23rd of October, 1200. High King Crusader's 66th birthday. He is 1 year away from equaling the lifespan of Uladh. He's 2 years away from becoming the oldest ruler that we have played as yet. He's 3 years away from the nicest age it is possible to be. I didn't expect to be in this position at this point in time, but for his 66th birthday, we are going to declare war for our claims on the Duchy of Strathclyde. The armies have just crossed into Scotland from Ulster, and we're told that we can get a learning lifestyle perk. I think I'm going to go for profit. So unfortunately, we have a bit of a distance to go to get there. None of these are of any immediate value. Profit will be useful. Defender of the Faith, I suppose the Tyranny gain. And of course Theologian, so it's mostly these three. If my calculations are correct, it's going to take 10 years to finish off this tree without getting any bonuses from events. And it's also going to take roughly 10 years here as well. No, I'd say my maths is probably way off there. I don't know how long it's going to take us. It's going to take us a while. We're about 1,300 off. And we're getting 13 a month. Those numbers go in evenly enough somehow. We're also seeing Aragon is involved in a war. It is helping Lothian to attack England. So I think this is for Lothian's claims on parts of England. I've sent the forces in. The Mangonels are heading to siege down Galloway. What I'll probably do then is split the army once it actually arrives there. We'll make sure not to take the Mangonels away from there. So yeah, we will move you guys on probably to Annandale. This is the only bit of a problem. Is into... I need those 26 troops. The only bit of a problem is that the attrition is quite hefty. We have a lot of forces rummaging around the place. We've nobody to help with sieges. I'd rather hit Annandale instead of Lanarkshire, because Annandale is part of the war target. Are we seeing somebody coming up? Presumably, because of the war with Lothian, we're seeing that we're at war, or we're hostile to a half ton of people. Oh no! The Great Khan! The Raiders have unified together. If he comes for our borders and tries to place a 30k fleet, there is nothing that we can do. If he's going to put a 30k fleet in orbit around Ireland, we will have to submit to him. But he's very far away at the moment, so it's fine. We do see something vaguely resembling a Scottish army heading off in that direction. And here comes the Scottish army. And I was just about to say, Storm Summoner pointed this out on one of the more recent comments, that the AI, so it was addressing Aragon, raising its forces in Aragon. So even though we were fighting in England, it was raising its forces way down in Aragon, in Spain, and sending them in. The capital of Scotland is in Norway. So all of these forces would have been raised in Norway and then sailed across. Because that makes sense. An interesting question at the moment is, what do we do with Ranald if we actually capture him? The current Duke of Strathclyde. Do we leave him in place? I think if we capture him, he's going to be executed. We're told about a marriage, and this is, of course, Brutor of David and our granddaughter, Nuala, who has just been overtaken. She would have been Queen of Wales at one stage. She could have dreamt of being Queen of Ireland. But now she will be the Lady of David. Yeah, sure it'll do. But I was just wondering about Ranald, who killed our son in battle. So considering that he killed him in battle, I don't think we'd try and arrest him and execute him. But if he ends up in our prison somehow, he will be executed. We're sending in our forces. I'm a lot more confident doing this when I made sure that Patrick wasn't in the army. we will just start these guys moving across in this direction as well. So a couple of different things going on. There's one of our new knights. I think we only hired him in the last episode. Wounded Duke Angus. And where is the army that doesn't have the mangonels? Here they are. So we can move them down to Uí Néill. They won't take that penalty anymore because we've captured Galway. What our 3K army up here? What can we do with you guys? For now, I think we will try and keep everyone really close together. Charles III of Normandy, which was one of the only places that he didn't have, has died. Complications, yeah. If you don't do it right, yeah, it can be a terror if you don't do it right. We've had problems with that in our court as well. Well, there you go. That's, she's just been told how the husband died. And their son, what is he? Son-in-law, has become the King of Burgundy, and he is still, I believe, heir to the Kingdom of Aragon. So there you go. That's going to be a rather powerful kingdom and a rather powerful alliance. And like I said, they're going to have a child. Well, they have no children at the moment. Slania, I don't know. Do something. And while our forces are moving down, we're in a position just to take a quick look at what went on. Nat Fiatach, Goitne, Angus, like I said, he's been hanging around a while. Not entirely too sure who he even is. Wolfgang, Muraduk. There is Nat Fiatach's son, if I am correct. So he's a good chunk behind his father. Muel Brassel, down in Hybert. Beaumont, who we hired in the last episode. The Duke of Lothian. There's the Duke of Moray, and oh, the devil. There he is, Ranald of Strathclyde, the region that we are trying to conquer. I suppose that is an issue. If we see hostile forces wandering up and bouncing back down like pinballs, we could get in a spot of bother there. I suppose, yeah. If we go for Lennox, I'd kind of split the difference. We could have moved for Uí Néill or for Lennox. I suppose it's best to get into this position. And the guys sieging here, we might be lifting them. Is this a hostile army or one that we're actually at war with? Mincon, you devil. Heart failure. I won't say I took pity on him, but I did marry him out to a random courtier who joined. They were both lustful, but didn't have any children. That was his second wife. Mincon, Jesus' mercy. He had a couple of very stressful days in the court. I think there's going to be a few people in the comments who are disappointed that I didn't execute him, but I think he lived a tortured life, having to execute his lover and having to execute his wife. And we did get a pop-up at one stage that he had become unbearable. I imagine that that life had become unbearable there for a while. I'm glad of that. Mincon, hopefully Jesus will show you some mercy. I was waiting for some pop-ups like this, and this was quite interesting, and it's another thing that we've seen. I expected, with the level of alliances that we had, that we would be called into a lot more wars. I was kind of wondering why we weren't. Well, here they go. I think there is an attempt to break free. Some people are trying to break free from our poor owl son-in-law. We will accept. I can't imagine that... Did you ring your mother? Did you ring your mother? Because she's got some soldiers. They're actually probably also in a war. Look, ring your mother. And if she doesn't answer, get back to us. Our daughter, Skahak, has had twins. So am I right in saying 5 boys, or 4 boys and a girl? Gofraid and Let Lober. So of course that's a name that's popped up a few times. Well, it's only popped up the once. Uladh tried to kidnap a child called Let Lober, so I think we'll go again. Philip. Caoch, that's fine. Gofraid. Dálach. Caoch Dálach. May you grow to be strongs and wises, my grandsons? Grandsons. We have an opportunity to get some more money out of... Is it Ronku? Or is it Ronku tells us? No, so our Chancellor tells us that Ronku has inherited contract, or his contract obliges him to more than we have collected. Time to right the wrong. Ronku was our Marshal, of course he was replaced. He's Master of the Horse. He's a commander. He already hates us. Time to right this wrong. In the past, we wouldn't have tended to enforce those contract obligations to try and stave off the independence factions. But now we're in a pretty solid position. These divils, didn't somebody give you Ross Cray or something at one stage? As our Order of Knights Hospitalier grow, we need more land from which to organise our defence of the Catholic faith. The city of Sligo is perfectly suited to our purpose. The city of Sligo. And we wish to lease it into service for our cause. Oh, they'll give me a lot of money. So here is the Mayor of Sligo. He's Mock Moraid. Here is Moraid. And all for children. Now, we know who their father is. By and large, it's Cruhur, who just came to us there a couple of seconds ago, telling us about contract obligations. Do you know what? I think he's a pilgrim. He's a bastard of no house. He's temperate. I think he'd be perfectly happy. Look at that for money. To basically, yeah, call it quits. Go off and see the world. We will grant this request for God. For gold, more like. And all at once, we have about 20 or 30 pop-ups. Death of a commander in the course of a practice duel. Our court artificer who found a skull for us in the middle of Europe has died. Now, it is the bit of a problem with this absolute waste of space who has become our marshal. I mean, with numbers like those, and with numbers like those, every time we raise the army, I did put him commanding knights or trying to increase knight effectiveness. And I knew there was a risk of this, but I was hoping that he wouldn't be that incompetent. I mean, yeah, he's incompetent. It was probably a bad idea. It's a tragic loss for the army. So he's no longer our court artificer, slain in a duel. We have also finished building a bog. We'd better come over here to this council and get you doing something. See, I don't know if we need really to increase control in areas. Plus, he's also useless, so he can't increase control. 4 months in Alec won't be the worst, I suppose. And maybe while we're here, we'll actually get our steward to increase development in some place that won't take 2 years. 14 days is maybe a bit light. Mayo, our other kind of capital region. And I remember saying at one stage, the last time that we took a dynasty legacy, that it would be most likely the final one that we would take, because I couldn't see us managing to unlock any more, and here we are. We've managed to unlock one. Erudition would be absolutely fantastic. Imagine if we had taken this the last time. We'd be able to get monthly piety plus 10%. But nope, that's not going to happen. We could go for considering how many generations of the family we're dealing with at the moment. We have a couple of great-grandchildren, so that could be helpful. Generational belligerence. Pursuit efficiency. Causes belli cost. Again, do we have that many more causes belli to be fighting? Earning respect, personal scheme power, diplomacy, lifestyle. Fertility plus 10, absolutely, that's what I need. I think we will go with... Where is it after going to? We'll get that old control growth. We'll get that old control growth. I was about to say, in rapid succession, we should see 2 sieges come to an end. We've taken Duke Ranulph's daughter-in-law. I'd say, if we were to send this army up to hit the main army, we could possibly look at standing one of those armies down or shipping them out. And it's been a while. We were waiting. 5 members of an independence faction. Look at this. There's somebody who's not happy that he's paying extra money. There's somebody who's never been happy. There's somebody who's happy but is still joining independence factions. Who else do we have? Fintan in Oriel. And for real. You can't be for real. After I gave you a county, you're doing this to me. This is maybe our issue, is once we bring Strathclyde in, we're going to have probably another constituent for this independence faction. Who will we try to impress? I've started a scheme to sway Fintan. He has the 2nd most amount of troops. There he is in that army. Getting Roan Coup out of the way would be the best idea. 3,100. But he's a powerful vassal. He's going to be angry with us until we can get that other idiot off the council. How long will that be? That's going to be a while. That's going to be a while. I don't really believe that he needs our help. But the armies are going to depart. They have a big long trek all around the Iberian Peninsula. We're going to land them here in the south. I don't think... Would it be faster if we were to bring one of them in this direction? If we put them on a cross-country run? I don't know if it'd be faster. We might as well. We might as well do that. Get them into this region. They can siege down. There's 2 counties here. So I have 2 armies being sent out. I have 2 armies being sent out, but do I want that though? Because if we are hit with a rebellion while they're out in France, we could be in some trouble. So I have indeed decided to opt for just sending the army with the mangonels. Now these guys are going to try and make a run for it into the hills. If we hit them, we could bring this war to an end. We're going to continue the siege here. We'll probably, again, like we had to do there a couple of years ago, we'll just have to keep the armies standing to see off this rebellion. Here's our attempts to sway Fintan. Are we giving him money? 75, that's grand. Yeah, have 75 quid. So 1 army sets sail. These guys are trying to avoid us. They've actually gained some troop numbers. We have 8 knights here. Wolfgang has maimed somebody. Nat Friok is no longer our personal champion. Don't tell me that he died in battle. Maybe he did. Complications related to giganticism. So maybe the helmet got caught in his head and he got a bad old whack across it. But the poor man, Nat Friok, our personal champion, has passed away. I think he was in that battle. So he still got the most kills and died halfway through. What are we going to do with you? For as much as I would like to do so, I don't think we're going to execute him. We will enforce our demands to begin with. Poor old Babby has no option but to accept, so be it. We have indeed managed to join up So we have a straight line connecting now to our former holdings, or not our former holdings, but to our brothers' holdings. If we look at the kingdom, we have 12 of the 14 counties. 12 of the 14 counties. And there is 3 in the Isles, which I believe we now have a claim to. If we take a look at our prisoners, he is now the Earl of Lennox, minus 100%. Claimed my title, extortionate taxes, too many duchies. He's ambitious. He's a title claimant. I'm seeing far too much red there. I'm seeing far too much red. Let's see, first of all, if we can hire somebody who used to fight alongside him to be our executioner. I'm not entirely sure why, but no, we can't hire anyone that worked alongside him as our executioner. For personal champion, we will appoint Wolfgang as our new executioner. Such a pity that Mincon passed away. Not entirely sure why he is in a position to do this. I know we have a loyalty hook on him. Do we have secrets as well? We will appoint him. Maybe they don't have crimes. They're not technically criminals. All it says is all of these, and then doesn't say anything. We are organising. He's releasing a couple of people at the moment. Ranald, including his own son, who I don't think will succeed him. Once we have a couple of people ransomed out. Eamon will give his first owl swing at the mercy of Jesus. We should be seeing a good chunk of pop-ups, and the first person to answer us is His Holiness the Pope. He's after giving us a big ball of money. We can see our forces are arriving in Aquitaine and are heading for Burgundy. Here is the siege engineers. Our friend High Alamoner, our former ward, Moelmead. I don't know what she's doing. Is she kind of reassuring us that we've made the right decisions, that we've done the right things, that we're justified in the actions that we're taking? I hadn't realised how much I needed this. And actually, if we take a look at the High King, we're approaching his 68th birthday. Health seems to be in good condition. We'll send these guys for the capital. I'm bringing out the other 2,000 strong army. We're going to send them down as well. They're probably not needed. I have the 4K army standing there in Inverness, just in case this independence faction fires. And let's indeed give those who would consider declaring independence or declaring a war against the High Kingship, let's give them something to think about. We pretty much waged this war for no other reason than to get revenge on the man who killed our grandson. And that is what we have done. In the last episode, I carried out a public execution, and I'm beginning to think the public executions, the exact wording is domain counties. So it increases control in domain counties. I'm wondering if that's only counties under your own control, as in counties that you own directly, part of your domain. So it wouldn't have done tremendously well for us when we carried it out the last time. Our dread is now at 36. It is dropping heavily because of that infirm penalty. I don't think we have... Well, here's nobody is afraid of us, but here we have Galloway has entered this faction. The Countess of Sutherland. I think they're all the new additions. So do you know what? Now that we have all these new people in the court, let's welcome them. Let's welcome them all to court. We've also gained some new items. We've gained Gaelic Mail, +2 prowess and injury resistance. We have the Welsh Flexible Mail at the moment, which I have just actually repaired, which gives us a bit of prestige. And we have also gotten a fine battle axe. Who does this axe belong to? So Angus, who's in our prison. So he's not actually involved in the conspiracy at the moment. He can give us 8 gold. He can give us up to 100. And he's getting 0.4 per month. And as for the Gaelic mail, that also belonged to poor old Angus. We took everything off of him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to repair the Welsh hammer. And then I am going to gift it to our son, Muireadach, who we recently disinherited from the Kingship of Ireland. But he will rule one day as King of Wales, and I think it's only right, considering the use and the benefit that the Welsh Warhammer was to us. I think it is only right that we grant that to our son, Muireadach. And both to maybe try and increase opinion a bit, but also to get rid of this thing that one of our new vassals has a claim on, and basically shove it off onto somebody else the way that they can fight amongst themselves. I'm going to gift the fine battle axe to Fariel. Here's a present, Fariel. We have given away some items. We've gained 11 opinion with our son. 7 opinion with Fariel. And we have a cheery gathering, as I always say. Look at that for a happy, cheery man. Welcome, friends. Our siege weaponry continues its march across Aquitaine. Here is somebody that we took prisoner. A renowned physician. Flexible leader. Oh, they're melancholy like ourselves. 18 prowess. Not too shabby, so I have recruited them to the court. I don't think we'll be able to put them into the army straight away. We have a couple more people. After they saw what we do, what we tend to do with our prisoners. They're running for the hills. Here is our ward, our jester's child. He's fickle. So we are going into a feast. It gives us an opportunity maybe to lose some stress, usually to gain even more stress, but we'd always just start screaming at somebody. We will get him to lose fickle and gain content, which will at the very least give him +2 learning. Do you remember what I was just saying there? Do you remember what I was saying there about gaining stress from this feast? Orla, a mayor of Tuam, and our wife, they're fighting, and they're heading straight for the frog tapestry. We're going to get 32 stress, 32, 40. We'll stay away from that one. It does give us 100 piety. It's not going to be a critical level of stress. Do you know what? Absolutely, we might as well. No point getting money. So the one I said we'd stay away from, that's the one we'll go for. In God's name, I shall turn the other cheek. Somebody is boring us to tears. It is actually one of the members of the faction that's risen up against us. I actually have no idea what it wants. Is it trying to install somebody? Independence? I don't care. I'll fight anyone. And we learn of her disputed heritage secret. So is that her disputed heritage secret? Or is that somebody else's disputed heritage secret? We'll see if we can do anything. I don't think we can necessarily. We can gain a hook. 100% that she will accept. We have gained a something on her. I don't know if that's enough to push her out of that faction. It is indeed. She only had about 300 troops. They can push a demand in 4 months. Laura. As plate after plate of food is brought into the great hall, an unmistakable smell reaches me and I smile. that my restrained vassal, Laura, is sensitive to lemon is something I sadly forgot to tell the cook. So he could get a bad reaction to food. I don't think Laura is a member of this coalition against us. We could save him, gain a weak hook on him. Absolutely, we'll gain some extra prestige. So I don't remember when / ever getting this pop up, but Roan Coo is a cannibal. Maybe it's something we forgot about in our old age. We'll try and blackmail him again. And considering we now have so many people arrayed against us, for the first time in a very long time, I'm going to deploy my daughter to the court to find secrets. Maybe we might find some secrets about the people that we have just vassalized. We can see that the main army is going to head across. It's going to plant itself here and watch and wait. The second time that the High King has had to do this, to keep an army at full capacity, staring down his enemies. My guests depart. Until next time. And we also have Martha. Martha is temperate and curious. Keep the temperate trait, absolutely. I don't care what she's doing. Keep the temperate trait. We have gained a blackmail cannibal hook on Roan Coo and that liberty faction. It was liberty they wanted. I'll give you debt. I won't give you liberty. Both debt and death. Oh, there's another one. It's another liberty faction. Bless them. They keep trying. They keep trying. We might try to sway. I don't know who we'll try and sway out of this one next. We finally discovered windmills. We're about to possibly hit... If we could actually hit these guys, maybe engage in battle and bring one of these wars to an end, it would be tremendous. Are we going to manage to hit them? I don't think so. I don't want to go too deep into Geneva. Our forces aren't tremendous either, but I'd be hoping that this ally army would consider helping, so I might... I don't know what we'll do. We'll bring them maybe in as far as here. So it's going to be a bit of a runaround for a while. And indeed, they will turn around. We're now fascinated by advanced bow-making innovations. The Rambling Kern, if anybody has started watching his channel, or if you haven't, most certainly do subscribe to it. I put some of his videos in the history channel that we have over on the Maniacal Link Discord. He did a video recently on Irish archery, the tradition in medieval Ireland. So that's something to check out. Who has arrived? One of our new vassals? It is indeed. It is the... I'm going to call him the Count of Galloway. Show him in at once. And we very greatly and gladly accept this gift of prestige and money. This battle seems to be going a-okay, even without Burgundy getting its forces in. Prince Amlib was wounded, I think, and has wounded. He's done a bit of both. There's an uprising. Oh, those Catholics. Join the French Catholic uprising as a defender. Oh, those Catholics. So we have, of course, joined that war. We will go for, again, we'll just go for the religious icon. We'll get down as far as prophet, hopefully in the next while. I don't know what's going on, what isn't going on here now. We've had a victory there. We have more forces rising up in and around this general region. Here's a populist uprising. The Duke of Lombardy has been killed. Oh, an allied combatant. I was wondering for a second who the hell, how was he allied to us? I'm wondering if we should send both the forces down in this direction just to deal with these guys. And we'll see if anybody can lay claim to any major victories. Amlib has indeed been wounded for real. He's a bit of a devil, but he's gotten himself a big hefty axe, and there's his first day trying it out. Amlib killed an enemy knight. And did he kill 2 enemy knights, or is that the same guy? That is the same guy. So Amlib straight off the bat killed the commander. It was an allied combatant. I was wondering why it was in red. I don't know, I've confused myself. I'm an old man. I'm an old man. I'm only a couple of days out from my 68th birthday. You can't be expecting me to know colours. So I suppose the one and only person we didn't need to find out things about is Roan Coo. We have found out that he had somebody murdered. A mayor in Kilventine. Burgundy's forces, I'm not too sure where the hell they're going, what direction they're going in. Those guys are running away, so I might just leave these with our siege weapons. I suppose we'll have to do this, won't we? We'll have to try and end some sieges. It looks like it's going to be an even battle if we go in and if we hit them, and I think we will. Burgundy is going to bring its forces down. I think we just about have the advantage, or maybe we can hold off long enough until Burgundy comes in. Patrick, our son, maimed somebody, so this wasn't a great army to be sending in. Will we need to lift that siege? I would say yes. We will immediately swing them around. Hopefully we can get the two armies together to hit whatever is coming in against us. I would hope that Burgundy would follow. Is Burgundy going to follow? Have both the armies gotten out? They have. The Devils. They've gotten out. Which of these actually has the siege weapons? So with the way things are going at the moment, I don't think we have much of an option other than to bring out the remaining army. We'll just look very quickly at how that last battle went. There is Prince Patrick killing one of the enemy knights. I don't know, is that his first... is that his first kill in battle? It is. It's his first kill in battle if we don't include that hunt from a couple of years ago. So it was a tremendous victory, but war score is ticking up very slowly. Burgundy, I don't know what the hell is going on with its forces. I don't know where the hell its armies are, unless it's involved in other wars. It only seems to have about 800 forces wandering around the area. We've left this a bit late, haven't we? This is taking a bit of time to try and finish off, because we would like to end these two wars and try and install our granddaughter-in-law as the Duchess of the Isles, which would give us the remaining territory that we need to usurp the kingship of Scotland. The only good thing at the moment, of course, is that the High King has crossed 68 years of age. He is now the oldest character that we have played as in this playthrough, and at the moment we receive no indication that his reign will be coming to an end anytime soon. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next one, when I keep saying over and over and over again, hopefully this battle will bring this war to an end, and it never does.